This year we built a ramp for our foster son who has cerebral palsy. He's deaf, he's blind. He's been living with us since January of 2015. And we had a church group come out and build the ramp for us. And within hours of building the ramp, we received a lot of complaints from the Homeowners Association. I believe it was about 24 hours after that we were told that we needed to remove it. That is just not an option for us. Our son he's 11 years old, he weighs 75 pounds, and we were working with just car ramps to get him in and out of the house. First option was to get rid of it. The second, they said we needed to put it in our garage. That was not an option for us either. Ever since we live here, we both have businesses, and there's just not enough square footage in our garage to hold a ramp. The status is they would like us to totally landscape the ramp in and just block it all off to the view of the rest of the neighborhood. Not long after that, we decided that we were going to move, or at least try to move. It's really hard because we have foster kids, adoptive kids, over 10 kids in the house, and we went ahead and we had a lien filed on our home for not building a brick mailbox, and we remedied that and finished it up, but they have not removed that lien yet.
Too many homeowners associations that want to micromanage the people that are there. This is a really nice neighborhood, and if you let people alone, it's still a nice neighborhood, but they want to micromanage and tell people everything that they can and can't do. It's really rather ridiculous in a neighborhood like this. We got a lot of wonderful people, and then there's a few people that just like to exert their force.
Just wish that our neighbors would understand how this could affect them possibly sometime in their life. If their children ever had an accident that they needed a wheelchair ramp, or even have an elderly parent that needs a ramp. I know from experience, it's just from my dad living with us when he had Parkinson's, to get him in and out without a ramp was just basically impossible. And it's sad that some people aren't thinking what their lives could be like.
So Don Payne issues a statement. He's the president of the HOA. And his statement says, the HOA covenants require that all homeowners submit drawings to the HOA Architectural Committee prior to improvements being made to the exterior of their homes. The HOA Architectural Committee then would suggest considerations to ensure the exterior improvements fall within HOA covenant guidelines. The Copleys failed to follow this protocol, and on May 18th, by construction without submitting drawings or requesting HOA approval. Since this time, the HOA has been working with the Copleys. It's a difficult situation. In life, I find that there's head first people and heart first people. These are obviously very compassionate individuals that, feel the need to give back via fostering and adopting and stuff like that, which is great. All for it. That said, that doesn't inherently excuse them from needing to follow the HOA rules and guidelines. The ramp looks good, right? I totally understand why they put it up. Still, you do know that you have to go through a specific process before installing a ramp of that kind, especially one that's visible from the street. I think all things considered, it seems like the HOA is just asking them to put some landscaping in front of the ramp to block the visibility from the road. Obviously the lien for the mailbox is a little much, but I'm certainly empathetic to their situation and their desire to help their, disabled son. I think that they went about it the wrong way. It's if you're planning on getting something done like that, go to the board, submit some drawings, and get it approved first, right? Or put it in the backyard, put it through the garage. I don't know necessarily what the answer for them would be, But certainly don't be surprised when you do something and then afterwards the HOA is like, hey, you weren't supposed to do that. You can't do that. It's against the covenants. Like, that's their job. Their job is to stop people from doing exactly that. And the CC&Rs are set up. They're legal documents. Everybody signed on to them. And the board's job is to uphold them. And if there's a violation, regardless of how well-intended the violation may be, you have to enforce it equally. Because if you don't, then you're setting a precedence, and then the next person might not have as good of a reason. But you've already set the precedence because you let one person get away with it. So, they seem like nice people. I understand where they're coming from. I understand why they did what they did. I also understand the position of the HOA and the fact that the president gave a very clear and correct answer as to why they did what they did. I think that says a lot. It makes sense, and it's an unfortunate situation. I wish nobody had to go through it, but I think everybody's gut reaction is going to say the HOA is stupid for doing this. I don't think that's the case. I think that the HOA is trying to do their job, and those parents are trying to be good parents. And at a certain point, you just have to jump through the proper hoops. If you don't want to jump through the proper hoops, don't choose to live in an HOA. If you're the type of person who's going to have 10 kids in the house and extenuating circumstances are going to be a normal part of your life, then maybe HOA life isn't for you. That's just the reality.